What else? I played Tactics Ogre Reborn. Hey man, do you know what Final Fantasy Tactics needs? Fucking voice acting.
Mm-hmm.
Just man, just A plus, A plus edition. Also, a rewind function would be nice.
Um,
Like you can rewind every turn in a fight in Tactics Ogre Reborn. Yeah, I know you could do it on the
how
PSP,
about
but
how about a PSP filter?
nah,
Yeah.
sorry.
No.
The other
Okay.
thing is that they actually very significantly changed a couple things in Tactics Ogre Reborn. And the most interesting of which is that you played FFT back in the day? I assume at least once.
For 1 hour.
Okay, so like when you hit somebody, that guy got experience. Like Fire Emblem, when you hit somebody, that dude got
Yeah,
experience.
you're saying this now. It's XP share, right?
Yeah, it's XP share with an XP cap.
Mm-hmm. Which
And it works really well.
fair.
It
Yep.
it works really, really well.
Yeah, that's as we're saying. Like, yeah, you know, XP share in a Pokemon context can make shit on your bench just become gods. But if you cap it for progression story based, then like yeah, you control
Yeah,
the
so
growth.
as a result, like man, this game is great. It's great. It's like it's this weird thing where like FFT has stuff going on in it that is obviously better than what, this ancient Super Nintendo game has. But the change to the way experience works and the change to having voice acting and the ability to like rewind things, it's like, man, I would, as of right now, I would way rather play Tactics Ogre than Final Fantasy Tactics, which just makes
Hmm.
me like, just put out FFT remaster, give it voice acting, and do the XP share thing, please, please, God, that's it. That's all. It's all it needs. That's all it needs, man.
So was if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Ogre Battle a different company from Square responsible for that series, and then they
The
kind of
way
came
that the
together?
way that it has been explained to me was that Tactics Ogre was an existing series called Ogre Battle or Tactics
Yeah, Ogre
Ogre.
Battle. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then
Right.
some
Quest.
guy at Square played Tactics Ogre and went, "Whoa, this shit is hot. Buy them."
So yeah,
And then they bought them, and then they were like, "We're gonna make Final Fantasy Tactics
yeah.
instead."
No, back in elementary school, I remember learning from my friend Choi that Ogre Battle was one RPG series, like tactical RPG series, and then FF, of course, was FF, and this was a Marvel versus Capcom, so to speak, of
Yeah.
these two different game series coming together. So when they make a game like Tactics Ogre, or rather, yeah, Tactics Ogre Reborn,
Hmm.
I'm gonna guess Square is just in charge of everything now because they buy everything,
Oh, I
and
don't think that company exists anymore. I'm
yeah,
pretty sure
okay.
they were completely subsumed
So,
decades ago.
so the crossover nature of that entire franchise just doesn't exist anymore because it's all the same umbrella,
I don't think
anyways.
it was
Now,
ever a crossover. I think that's why it was called. It went from being Tactics Ogre to Final Fantasy Tactics in terms of like, no, it's ours now. And then they never did anything with that fucking formula ever again. I mean, they made those advanced games, but not really.
okay. Yeah, okay. There was Ogre Battle. Um, was the original, right? Okay, by Quest, and then Tactics Ogre came out. Let Us Cling Together followed up, and then Ogre Battle 64, and then yes, they kept on their own, but that's when the FF Tactics fusion came in. So yeah, but in any case, Square basically like does that kind of crossover bit, cannibalizes it entirely, and then continues to make their own games on the Game Boy Advance and um,
Hmm.
at least one PSP remake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Tactics
Advanced.
Ogre Reborn is excellent. It's absolutely excellent. It's probably the best strategy RPG you could buy right now.
All I know is I played Advance One for a couple weeks. No, I played it for a while actually, a couple months back in college. But 2 came out, and I saw the art for that main character, and just fucking something inside me broke.
Tactics Advance. I know there's some people that like really love it and whatnot, but like Tactics Advance has the what I'm gonna call, I don't know what to call it. There's got to be some kind of term for like a minor detail that is utterly ruinous. You know, like a hair on your
Sure.
on your
Achilles
food.
heel. It's called an Achilles heel.
Sure. The judge system is the worst system to ever be put into a strategy RPG.
But
It is so out of control terrible.
I forget the details of it, but counter note, judges themselves are awesome.
Yeah, judges are cool. True. But the judge system, you'd get a judge to be like, no swords
Right, right. The
allowed.
rules, yes.
And you're like, oh, cool. 3/4 of my party just can't. Oh, I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose. No healing.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Jesus, fuck.
I mean, it would be, if anything, that idea could be made fun by rewarding a particular type of thing, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, not to
Tactics Ogre has something like that. It has little bonuses, like, hey man, heal somebody with this, bring in this kind of unit,
Yeah.
do this within certain terms. But it's all carrot, no stick.
Yeah. That's it. You want to have like, if you use a staff, if you want, then you will get extra for that. The judges love it, as opposed to just pure restrictive play. And I'm kind of thinking of the well, to drop a Chrono Cross reference in there for you, the elemental system in Chrono Cross, where the last 3 moves determine the strength of the elements on the board.
I found that really like a cool idea, genuinely, but like in practice, it was insanely frustrating because like the boss would get its turn and just fuck your bullshit up over and over and over and over and over.
You know, and you drop like water, water, water. That means fire is garbage right now, and sorry that that's what you've been relying on. You know, like I think that type of system with, like, if you commit to something like that, probably have extra details with like completely reversing it, or you know what I mean, like ways to like flip it on its head entirely, because like, yeah, that can kind of, it's a background thing that you want to have, like battles be more fun because you're thinking about the system, but you don't want it to like overtake what your actions are. You know, I think a really good example is press turn, right? Where press turn feels unbelievable when you land it, and it feels horrifying when it's on you.
Yeah, Eli taught me, that'd be Plague of Gripes, taught me a term for that ages ago, which is feast or famine mechanics.
Feast or famine.
It's either all good or all bad.
Yeah. Cool.
You know what's all good though? Fucking Tactics Ogre. I will say, as I die, after you, while I die.
I vaguely recall Advance being, wasn't the plot in Advance like we're a group of kids jumping into another world and having fun, but one of our friends is in a wheelchair and he can't have fun with us, so he's getting super salty?
No, actually, you remembered it in a way that's like pleasant to the main character. What actually happens is they get isekai'd into a different world, and everybody's like, this is the sickest thing ever. My dad came back to life. I can walk around. I'm not disabled. This is awesome. I want to live here forever. And then your main character is just going, but it's not real! But it's real!
We gotta get back! Right? Yeah, okay.
And they're like,
Yank
my
him
dad
out.
is alive! Like, why would I want to go back?
Hey, man. But he's not real.
Oh,
So you're going back now.
Like you're yelling at your fucking your little brother who's like stuck in a wheelchair.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's
yeah.
running and jumping and getting into battles that we need to go back so he can be in a mountain town and sit in a room all day and look outside.
This is
Like,
wrong.
holy
You
shit.
shouldn't have this. This is we have to
Like,
go back.
it's like that story
I forgot
fails
that's
on
how
its
it
most
went.
basic concept. It's crazy. Okay, so
Damn.
somebody responds, it's not, what's happening is that the one character's mother is alive, another character's dad is no longer an unemployed alcoholic bum, and the other kid
Right.
gets to stand up and walk around out of a wheelchair.
Well, if Marsh can't drag everyone back to reality, then he'll have to bring reality to them. Let's
Yeah,
get the crowbar out.
it's zany, man. It's fucking zany.
Fuck yeah, that's great. Everyone's having fun. It's not real.
I don't care.
He mad. All right.
Oh, sorry. But all of those parents and the kid in the wheelchair, that's all the same thing. So like you're like, hey, kid in a wheelchair who can now walk around and has parents. No, you're going back to dead mom and alcoholic
Yeah.
father.
Yeah.
Loser.
Life is garbage. Exactly. I really hope, but I can only imagine. I don't know. I didn't beat it, but I can only imagine, like, after that happens, because RPG stories are got to do what they do. I imagine he probably has yeah, I guess you're right. At the end of the day, that was fun, but I should
I don't
face
know, man.
reality and be
I don't know.
miserable.
What's extra fucked by a huge margin is that by FF Tactics Advance 2 and FF12 having characters from Advance 1, it implies that that world is real to some degree.
True, and judges show up elsewhere, right? Ivalice
Yeah.
as a thing continues to exist. That was the first Ivalice, then FF12, and then FF14.
Well, it depends. Because Tactics 1 predates Advance, obviously, and then Vagrant Story also takes place in Ivalice, but it's actually like one continent over. So it's not in Ivalice,
Whoa.
but it is in that like planet.
Yeah, Vagrant Story's connected. That's
Well,
cool. I had
think
no
about what
idea.
Vagrant Story like looks and feels like compared to like Tactics, right?
I thought it was just like thematically, like artistically similar, but was its own bit. Interesting. Okay. That's cool. That's cool.
But yeah, it's Tactics Ogre's good.